It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. 25th of September 2019, 8 a.m. CET, meaning this is a pre-London Open, live market coverage only here on the Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Piotr here. Guys, plenty of things going on around, so let's start with the quick risk warning and then moving on. Guys, please bear in mind, trading FX on margin, trading crypto carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors who can sustain a loss of some or all initial investment, so please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education and experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, so where we are, Bitcoin crashing below 10k. There is an official Trump impeachment inquiry. So, well, you know, many things going on. But we are going to start with Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin. I know that from time to time we do separate meetings in relation to the crypto, but because of what happened yesterday, I thought it's going to be worth to talk about that right here, right at the beginning of our meeting today. Generally speaking, that's the monthly chart of the Bitcoin. We discussed many times that these upper shadows, they don't look good. Also, we discussed the things that, you know, you cannot try to believe as a bull that some support is going to hold if you don't have initiative, right? The best defense is attack, right? And looks like bulls failed a bit above 10k. So huge break to the downside, plenty of upper shadows going on. It's a 4-month right now, and to be honest with you, I would be skeptical overall. But there are two things. One on the monthly, second on the weekly, and we discussed this on Monday probably, if I'm not mistaken. So what is going on here? We have to get back to July 2018 and the range over here ahead of this huge breakdown, right? So that was when everyone was thinking 6,000 is a bottom, right? So it was similar on a smaller time frame. Like right now, everyone thought that 10k is a new bottom, and we should go higher. So we are, as you can see, let me input the background. We are inside the possible demand zone, big one, white one, from the monthly chart. All right, so that's first positive. That's the first positive. The second positive here is based on the weekly, where we have this rally base, blue, white range, Riley. So right now, and we were discussing this, guys, on Monday, right? What I would like to see, because everyone was trying to trade this trend line, and the base, the horizontal base, hasn't been tested. So right now, right here, we have a test, and I'm sorry, that's the real test. And I like the longs below 8,500, of course, with proper money management, guys. That's not, it's tiny exposure. But what I would like to see, based on this weekly chart, again, we discuss it, I would like to see the close above 9,500, 9,600. All right, I wanna see the move get back. So that's why I've been trying to explain that the earlier at the beginning of the week we do this stuff, the more time we have to get back above some certain levels on the weekly chart. Okay. So right now, because me personally, I cannot move the market, so there is right now nothing else, just to watch with these longs if we can get back and close the week above. Otherwise, I'm going to manage the position, and probably either I'm going to cut or close the whole exposure. So switching to the daily chart. All right. A little bit of the lower shadow, okay, but I think we might retest this 8,000 one more time to have something similar we already seen here. 16th and 17th of July, right? So there was a move to the downside, break through the shadows. There was next day attempt to go lower, so maybe today, and reversal. So yeah, nothing else we can do here, just to watch right now. So that's how I see the things on the Bitcoin. So let's switch back to the FX right now. Give me a second, please. There you go. We got back to the FX, and here, well, sell off on indices. There was an official impeachment inquiry. There was an attempt to push dollar lower. Only dollar yen made the break. Congratulations to the euro dollar sellers. Exactly to the point they hit yesterday. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna tell you that I sold and it hit my target overnight. No, to be honest with you, when I saw the whole mess going on, I skipped the currency. I've been looking around indices. That's what I'm gonna to do also today. We have to be very careful because we are approaching end of the quarter, end of the month. So yeah, more about the indices, of course, we are going to discuss during our afternoon meeting. Based on what I see here on euro dollar, with this rejection at the supply, based on this pre-German PMI reading, right? We hit that level, rejection. So maybe we are going to retest the post PMI low, right? But don't forget about the option expiration at 110 over the course of the whole week. So that might work as a magnet. Anyway, impeachment inquiry was not enough to push. Bulls were trying, failed. So if they failed here, so now it's a chance to revisit the low. Before we go further, let's try to connect with Michał. Let's have a look what he has for us. So please stay with me, bear with me. We are going to get back both within the next few seconds. Good morning, Mr. Micha. Wakey, wakey.
Good morning, good morning. I'm up, I'm up, I'm up.
I can see that you've got the very big cup of coffee. Am I right?
Yeah. I like to drink from the from the good
Show us the big cup of coffee.
Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse,
Yeah,
mini. Sorry,
looks
mini,
good.
mini with woman, with woman.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
yeah.
where we are going to start? What we are going to start with?
From this big manipulation which is going on right now. And you mentioned that I think it's all about this manipulation, because you mentioned that the algos, you many times you are mentioning that algos read the headlines. And I think it was also this time we were seeing this previously when the other U.S. presidents like Bill Clinton was also impeaching. I think it's okay. Maybe we will begin from this where it started and what is going on. The Trump is the initiation of the process is because the Trump called to the Ukrainian president to investigate his opponent from the Democrats. And they're saying that he has committed a big crime violated the constitution, and etc. And there are a few reasons when the president can be impeached. It's treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. And those high crimes and misdemeanors are the way for the Democrats to try to impeach the inquiry for the Trump. It's about. The process started right now, and it's kind of I think it's a big headline, but a big cloud, and we will see a small rain from it, because any of the member of the House representative can propose charges, and then they will have to vote, and the majority of the votes is needed to start the whole process. So I think maybe. I don't think that some of the Republicans will vote against their president, even though we were having the votes that he has some opponents in his own camp, we can say, in his own party. But even though later then the votes goes to the Senate, and they need to have 2 of the 3rd votes. Right now, the split is 53 Republicans, 45 Democrats, and two independent senators, which usually votes for the Democrats. So it's like they need to convince 20 of the Republicans to vote against their president. And I think
it's going to happen.
Yes, it's not going to happen. Even if they would do that, another reason why they wouldn't like to do that, it's because even though the President Trump would call off the duty and had to resign, then the Vice President would only lead to the January 20th the next year. So there will be an early elections, and I think they would not risk that at the moment, right?
Let me stop you here for a moment. So we can clearly say that 2020 presidential election in US has started, right? That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm. Many of those.
In relation to what you've mentioned, that the whole inquiry is based on what happened during the phone conversation between the President Trump and the Ukrainian president. There's two things I would like to share with you guys as well. Yesterday, after all this mess, there was information from the President Trump that he requests to release the whole conversation without any cuts and stuff like this. That's the first thing. Also, we have to remember that the President Trump is participating in this United Nations meeting, and here is important thing. I would like to give you guys some schedule of the President Trump plan today, based on the GMT time. So all going to happen is going to happen during the US session. That's the very important thing. So the first thing, number one, 10 past 4 GMT, Mr. President Trump meets with Japan Prime Minister Abe. So we are talking about this US-Japan trade deal. First thing. So why I'm talking about this, because it's gonna be very important. We might see up and downs on the market, dollar indices and stuff like this. So 10 past 4 Trump Abe in relation to the US-Japan trade deal. Then quarter past 6 GMT. That's the very important meeting between the Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. So that's here we are very, very important. And the key top is going to be at 8 GMT, where we are going to get the President Trump press conference. So very, very busy afternoon. We should see some fireworks. But anyway, because we are short of time, let's cut this Trump relation stuff right here, right now, because I know you have something else for us as well.
Yeah, we do. Peter?
Yeah, let's go. Back to you.
Okay. What else we can say about also we were having this rate decision in the morning from the New Zealand.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it went for the background, of course, and yeah, but we are seeing they leave the interest rates untouched, and they said that there were no significant changes to. Significant information from since the August decision to change the monetary policy outlook, and right now they are saying that of course the global trade tensions is lowering the demand for the New Zealand goods and services, but after the latest rate cut they are. They are expecting to receive the information from the domestic demand, from the housing market, and also they see that the employment is very high, and the wages are also high. So it should keep the inflation in target range. So that's why they wait and see mode that's the base why they made this decision. And of course they were saying that they will leave the door open to next rate cut or so.
Okay, so let's have a look what we have on the Kiwi chart here. Still under pressure over the course of this month. The market was trying to push New Zealand dollar a little bit higher over the course of the month. We are building upper shadow here, and it doesn't look good right now. Of course, we have still a few days towards the end of the month. Bulls are fighting trying to keep this support alive. But guys, of course it's all about what's going to happen and about the forces, but this inverted cup and handle here might work well, and in case of this upper shadow and closing maybe around the monthly open, that's gonna be challenge for bulls, and they may give up, and we might see much lower levels, even below 60. But that's how it looks from the monthly chart. Let's have a look what we have from the weekly chart perspective. Here it looks a little bit better. We already covered 50% of the previous week range, right? So looks like bulls are fighting. One of the reason we see a little bit stronger New Zealand dollar right now, it was of course profit taking ahead of the RBNZ, and right now New Zealand dollar the bulls are trying to hold current levels. Some market takeaway from the RBNZ that they were not that dovish as some were expecting. But anyway, New Zealand dollar is trying to hold, but here let me take off the background from that zone. Okay, let's get back to daily. But here is a challenge for the Kiwi buyers. We have to take out the high from the 17th of September, as well as we have to close right above this opening candle of this breakout candle. So here is a huge challenge for the Kiwi buyers. On the other, trying to translate on the other words, it's a huge supply zone right here, right now. So I'm watching carefully developments here in case we are going to retest this 63.50, 63.70 level, and what's going to be the market reaction around this level. From the intraday perspective, that's the post RBNZ spike higher. A little bit of the pullback. Market is trying to hold 50% of that RBNZ range right here, right now. So yeah, probably we are going to retest the green zone. There is a liquidity pull around here. So then it's all about what's going to happen inside this green zone. All right, that's the New Zealand dollar. Michał, would you like to add something?
To the New Zealand dollar, maybe
overall,
not, but
anything
overall,
else?
I would like to, I would like to, for just for a second, go back for the Trump thing. That's the dollar. You see the manipulation stuff. The dollar almost recovered at every front, and I think it's a big opportunity for buyers on the stocks and on indices, and I also will be more likely to trade in the indices, not the
long side. You thinking about the long side?
I think. But you would like to tell me that I have to wait more?
No. I think that because I have to be in contrary to your view, right? Otherwise it would be boring. But I'm bearish. But as I mentioned at the very beginning, I think that end of the month, end of the quarter might spur this window dressing, and we might see attempt to go a little bit higher. So you've mentioned about the indices, so let's have a look what we have from the Nasdaq perspective. Of course, we are going to discuss wider the indices this afternoon during our educational live training room. But just I think towards end of the month, end of the quarter, we might see attempt to go a little bit higher. From the monthly perspective on the Nasdaq, this 7,800, 7,850 based on my chart, that's the key. As you can see here, we are building upper shadow on the monthly chart, and this 7,800, 7,850, that's the key. Right now, yesterday from the daily chart perspective, if you remember, we were discussing that there was attempt to break higher from that range, right? So taking into the consideration 50% of that range, so we are very close to that, and I think we might see attempt to go a little bit lower, but that's what should hold during the first test. So my plan is to wait and see what's going to happen on a retest of 7,800, 7,850, and trying to find my opportunity to sell a little bit higher. Especially that we were trying to trade DJ yesterday during the afternoon, and we missed this entry by 6 points. So yeah, not quite happy with that. especially when I saw this huge drop yesterday. All right, Michał, thank you very much for your inputs. Are you going to join us this afternoon?
I think, yeah.
Okay, great. So have a great London session and see you around. Thank you very much.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. So of course the impeachment related mess. It's not the only one we have to fight with. There is of course the whole Brexit saga, Brexit mess as well. So let's switch to the pound. Right now, right here, we are trying to trade with this Tokyo rejection. We are trying to build the upswing high on the weekly chart, but I think that's not gonna work that way, right? It's too clear here. The distance between the entry and the stop is too big. So from the seller's perspective, I would rather wait for this higher zone towards 25.65. That's what we discussed. I think that especially taking into the consideration end of the month, end of the quarter, the spikes are possible here. So from the seller's perspective, I would wait for this, and I'm gonna to show you on the intraday chart why it might work that way. From the buyer's perspective, I would like to see, because right now we are holding nicely this 24.40, 24 zone, but I would like to see some stop count to the downside, trying to retest this upper shadow, trying to retest the low from the 17th of July, and rejection, right? So I would like to see attempt to build lower shadow. That could be the opportunity for the buyers. As you can see right now, we are in the middle of that zone, right? We are testing the weekly open. We are bouncing since yesterday between the Monday high and weekly open. But let's get back to the intraday chart here, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Why, from the seller's perspective, waiting for 25.65 and maybe a little bit higher is a thing worth to wait for, right? If you remember some time ago, that's what we doing very often. We are trying to find how the market is moving, what we can expect, right? So based on the latest move, and after this correction, I found that if we are going to make this equal wave to the upside, then the swing high from the daily, not from the weekly, might work well here. So I think in that case, if you are a bear, it might be worth to wait, especially that it's also the possible over-under from the intraday perspective. I know that some may see possible head and shoulder here from the intraday perspective, but I would be very careful trying to chase the market, here. So that's how I see the cable. Dollar yen, nothing extraordinary. And all those news, especially afternoon, the President Trump schedule I've mentioned before, that might be the market mover for the dollar yen here. So we went through the Monday low. We hit some stops based on this price action we've seen from the 10th of September on this move to the upside. Nice recovery during the Tokyo session. The weaker inflation reading from Tokyo also spurred the JPY weakness. So yeah, we got back above the Monday low. So the things here are going to be very interesting because we might see attempt to either beat this Captain Hawk formation here, so push lower, or we might see V formation based on the over-under in relation to the Monday low and the 10th of September low over here. So not that clear picture for me on the dollar yen. Euro dollar, that's what I've mentioned. We are in the middle of that post PMI range right now. Nothing to do. Looks like London might be quiet here. So it's going to be worth to watch. EURUSD missed. They didn't hit selling level, as well as Euro Pound didn't hit the buy level we discussed yesterday. So most of them are still valid for now, right here, right now. We will see. The last one from the currency side is the pound yen. After we hit the level yesterday, we didn't quite make the move again towards 34.80. That's our supply, intraday supply level here. So even we had plenty of news, market mover news, really FX didn't move at all. Maybe some yen crosses, but as you can see during the Tokyo session there was some reversal. So let's have a look how London wants to play it out, and I think that afternoon meeting and that might be the FX mover. Let's have a look if the dollar will stay beat. That's going to be very, very interesting. On the other hand, oil, the private APA data was in favor of sellers. So all those we discussed yesterday looks like it's working well towards lower levels. We do have official EEA data release later today. Of course, during our afternoon meeting, we are going to watch that. I would like to see attempt to go higher, but with this breakdown yesterday, looks like first we are going to close the gap. Maybe then we will see higher levels. So, the Monday low right now as a supply level, as well as yesterday open. So that's two levels to watch from the selling perspective. But I would be very careful in case we are going to close the gap during the European session. Then it might be just spike down post EEA and run higher. And we are going to discuss this oil trading opportunities during our afternoon meeting. So overall, be very careful during the London session. Market may want to try to consolidate a bit ahead of the possible fireworks during the New York session. Guys, that's it from me this morning. It was my pleasure again to be with you here. Hopefully during our afternoon meetings we are going to have similar possibilities like we had yesterday. We missed euro dollar, we missed by 2-3 pips, then we missed DJ by 6 pips points. Hopefully we are going to be able to hit our trading levels this afternoon. So don't be trapped during the London session. Join me this afternoon for the educational live trading room. Have a good one, guys. See you around.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.